What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Antstroworld Live. Today, got a pretty interesting episode. We're going to be doing a chase versus reign. So basically, we're going to be looking at some title reigns from the past or the present. We're going to be talking about what was better, the chase to the title or the actual title reign itself. I got TJ here with me. I got Yael and I got Deante. Make sure y'all go follow them on their socials. Link is going to be in the description down below. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So, we cooked up a couple title reigns. We looked back, found some title reigns we wanted to talk about for this specific episode. So, first one, honestly, let's start out with an iconic one. Jeff Hardy. What do we think was better?
Uh, this, this, this makes me
I
sad.
almost. Oh, no, go ahead.
This makes me sad because, as a youngin watching this happen, like you would expect the rain to be really good, but it's like the chase was significantly better. Because the man, think about it. I think Triple H was champion at the time, and it's like him going after Triple H multiple times after multiple times, having having to prove himself to Vicky and stuff like that, having to prove that he was a prominent main event guy and that he was going to get pushed as a main event guy. And it's like every time by some trial or tribulation, by some slip up, he lost. And every single time we're just like, bro, we want him to be champion. We want him to be champion. And then when it finally came around and he hit that swanton and he won the title, it was like the biggest moment in history. And then his reign got ended by like fucking Royal Rumble, and it's just like, I mean, I guess, but also it's just like his reign just wasn't that great, other than like his like really 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 fucking good chase.
Look, I wasn't really watching WWE around this time in 2008, but like fast forward to the future when I started watching and hearing, the whole hype surrounding Jeff Hardy and everything. That man was really bigger than Obama in 2008. From how much hype he had, he was really bigger
Facts.
than big as Obama, if anything bigger than Obama. Like it's insane. That chase to the title, that chase to the title was insane because every time we thought he was going to win it, he came up short. Not once, not twice, but then third time was the charm, and he ended up winning at Armageddon in 2008. Now, the reign itself didn't last really long. I know he won it December 2008, held that all the way to what? The Rumble, right? Rumble 2009, if I'm not mistaken.
Rumble,
So it was basically
Rumble
like a month.
2009.
It was a month. So if I had to say what was
It
better, it's definitely the chase.
it felt like, I'm not gonna lie, it felt like a waste of a fucking rain because of like
What's good, guys?
What up? What up?
you look like you need to go to bed, my guy.
Yeah, bro.
Bro, I couldn't be arsed with my PC on. But we good. This
You're
rain was
welcome.
fucking dog shit, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It felt like a race. It felt like a waste of a fucking rain because don't get me wrong. Yes, I agree with Ant. Literally, he was bigger than Obama back then because he was so fucking over. Everybody loved him. On top of that, the story was right there. Like Jeff Hardy, one of the most charismatic wrestlers of all time, having to overcome his demons because he was going through so much around that time and the past few years with his drinking and his drug problems and everything. And he kept getting suspended. You know, in 2008 at that Royal Rumble, he was supposed to win literally the Money in the Bank, but that shit didn't happen because he was on his BS. He was an IC title for a good minute, and so when he got suspended, I thought everything was cooked for him. But Vince was like, fuck it. There's a good story behind this. So I'm not gonna lie, like it almost made me cry. Like I was dead ass like about to start crying when he won that title because I didn't think that shit was gonna happen. Then fast forward a month later to Royal Rumble, that bullshit happened with fucking Matt Hardy, and then Edge went back and won the title, which it made no sense because that feud between him and Matt was so fucking ass. Like, don't get me wrong. It was mid because it was it made no sense. So yeah, most definitely it was the chase. The reign was way too short.
TJ Yael, you got anything to say about it?
Man, oh, the rain, man. The rain was highly disappointing. Only a month for the most over person in the company, in the world. I'm like in the
Right.
world, bro.
It's criminal.
Donovan Mitchell? Oh no. I thought he was about to do something crazy for that and one. But yeah, obviously the chase was better, man. Just like Deontay was saying, the story of him overcoming his addiction to finally reach the mountaintop against somebody who he had trials and tribulations with in the past, and Edge, and someone who was considered one of the upper echelons of the company and Triple H the same night to do it. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I don't feel you, bro. I don't feel you.
This
That
guy.
sucks because man, that feeling was incredible for him to get that 3 count.
Mm-hmm. Especially over somebody in Triple H and Edge.
You feel me? Mr. Golden Shovel himself.
Not gonna lie, I feel like Jeff Hardy is one of the people that was better
bro.
trying to like chasing the title than having the title.
Oh,
He was better
most
chasing it.
definitely.
Easily.
Most definitely. I've literally both his title reigns and for the company was they were mid because that's what happened when he won the world title against Edge, lost it right back to Punk, gained it again, and then lost it right back to Punk, and then that's when he left the company.
He was basically a transitional champion to Punk both
Mhm.
times.
Basically.
It was basically Punk just stat padding.
In a way, yeah. In a way, yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty
I feel
sure
like
we all could.
once he got to TNA, I feel like his title reigns did get. I feel like his title reigns were most definitely better than WWE. Besides the whole Victory Road situation, but other than that, I think his reigns were pretty decent in TNA. I think he had great matches for the TNA title and everything.
Why did that almost win?
All right, so yeah, I'm pretty sure we're on agreement that the reign or the chase was better than the actual reign.
Yeah, most
So-
definitely.
100%.
Let's get to a different reign here, or let's get to another title reign here that we could talk a lot more about the actual reign itself.
Oh,
Kofi Kingston's
okay. I got some
WWE
things I wanna
Championship
say.
reign.
Mm.
The build.
That
on this
is
whole-
100% undoubtedly the chase was 100 times better.
Well, of course,
Think about
he's
it.
chasing the title for like 15 years.
Think about it. The way they built the storyline of this man waiting 11 years to finally get this chance. He wasn't even supposed to be here. Mind that. This
Shout
was
out Mustafa.
this was more than likely supposed to be Kevin Owens' opportunity or Mustafa
No, it was
Ali's opportunity.
Mustafa's. It was
I think,
Mustafa's.
I think it was
Mustafa Ali.
Mustafa, but he had like the eye injury or something on that SmackDown, and that
Yeah.
halted
We all
his,
know.
And
We
so
can blame for that one.
they were gonna fill that in with Kevin Owens at first, and then he wasn't even supposed to be in this position, and then the way they built him up in the elimination chamber, no one in their right mind thought that he was winning that match. There was a lot of people in that match, a lot of viable opponents who could have won that match, but at the end of the day, the final two went up to Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston. And the thing is, in my mind, I knew Kofi wasn't gonna win. I knew Daniel Bryan was gonna retain. But like in the back of everyone's mind, you had to believe just a slight bit of doubt. I'm like, he might actually do this. He might actually pull this off. And there was like 3 fucking times where I'm like, oh my god, they might actually give him the belt. And then him getting built up, the gauntlet match with the New Day, him having to do his own gauntlet match, him having to go through trial and tribulation. Daniel Bryan himself calling this man a B+ player, all comes full circle. And then when it gets to WrestleMania, the lights are the brightest. His kids are in the crowd. This man hits the Trouble in Paradise. Finally wins his first WWE Championship. It was one of the greatest moments in WrestleMania history. WrestleMania history. Now the reign could have been 1,000 times better. Of course, the ending of the reign very controversial. Very controversial. WWE gonna be a WWE. Vince gonna be a Vince. You know what happened.
That might be the most saddest thing I've ever seen.
They really had him lose.
That's probably one of the most saddest
you know
things
what's
I've
happened.
ever seen in wrestling.
One of the biggest memes in modern wrestling history. If you're a black champion, you know Brock Lesnar's gonna be on your ass. And so um and so it's just the reign itself was just it just wasn't great. First off, I'm pretty sure one of his title matches was against Dolph Ziggler, I guess, and then freaking another one was against Randy Orton, and the match wasn't bad. It's just why Um, and then like, of course, the whole Brock situation. Like, bro, you really had this man drop the title in about 7 seconds just to just to have him face for the title against Cain Velasquez. First off, where's Cain Velasquez now? From what I've heard, that man's in jail.
In jail,
All
but
I'm gonna say is the ending of that Brock Lesnar reign was fantastic.
we're gonna get into that, and we're gonna get to the person. We're gonna get to that. I got him
Yeah,
out
we're
here.
gonna we're
But
gonna, we're gonna get to that. But
me personally, I'm gonna say is equal for me. I'm gonna say is equal for me. It might sound crazy, but is equal for me. So in 2019, who were the 2 world champions?
Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston.
Okay, me personally, I think Kofi's reign was a lot better than Seth Rollins, and this is
Oh,
coming from a
100%.
big
They put
Seth
Seth up
Rollins
against Baron
fan.
Corbin.
Seth Rollins had a stinker with that Universal Championship reign. I talk about this a lot in this other chat that I'm in. Seth Rollins' worst year is 2019, without a doubt. Even though he won 2 world titles, which is crazy, he still had a horrible year. Still had a
Hell in a
horrible
Cell
year.
2019.
Hell in a Cell 2019, just the horrible feuds with Baron Corbin and Brock Lesnar. Even though the SummerSlam match cooked, it was just horrible for Seth Rollins. So the alternative world champion was Kofi Kingston. This man held it down. He worked with what he was given. He had a little mini feud with Dolph Ziggler, had a little feud with Samoa Joe, had the little feud with Kevin Owens, had the whole thing going on with the New Day and FTRKO or whatever it was called. It wasn't the most ideal. It wasn't like the flashiest #1 storyline in WWE, but it was an alternative. And me personally, I preferred Kofi's run over Seth Rollins. The chase, honestly, everything building up to that, the whole gauntlet match, then the Elimination Chamber, then being left off Elimination Chamber, and then eventually having the New Day fighting that gauntlet tag team match where they ended up winning, giving Kofi Kingston a shot at the WWE Championship at Mania against Bryan. That was all cool. But I like to say they're neck and neck, but if I do have to give the slight edge to one of them, it's probably going to be the chase just because of that build-up, because that build-up was pretty nice. But I'm not going to lie, I did enjoy the reign a little bit. Could it have been better? Without a doubt, yes. But I did like the reign. I did enjoy it. I felt like I felt like it did its job. Now, it wasn't like it could have, like I said, it could have been better, but it did its job.
Look, I'm gonna say definitely 100% the reign, and I'm gonna say this because I feel like when it comes to black wrestlers, that narrative will never leave Vince McMahon because how he treats black wrestlers. You rarely see them as champions. You literally rarely see them as world champions. Like, I've only seen Kofi and The Rock. both African Americans with world title reigns.
Mark
I,
Henry.
I guess people can count
Is that
Rock.
under Vince?
Yeah,
Bobby Lashley.
I said Bobby.
I don't think he did.
I don't know. I just heard Rock and Kofi. Well, I might be
I
tripping.
only
I don't
heard
know.
Rock and
Oh
Kofi.
well, I was about to say I don't know if we count The Rock because I guess he's Samoan, but yeah, Bobby
He's
and Kofi.
black and Samoan,
He's
man.
black and Samoan. That counts.
Like it's some more in my veins.
But still, bro, like
All right.
that narrative will never leave fucking Vince. But I'm not gonna lie,
in that whole verse.
I think we can all agree. I think Kofi's chase was basically Daniel Bryan 2.0.
Mhm.
Um,
What's cool about that though is during that whole chase and build up and everything, the fact that Brian called Kofi a B plus player,
yeah, that shit
Yeah.
was crazy, and I'm like,
that
it
was so good.
brought nostalgia to me. 'Cause I'm like, damn, bro, literally 5-6 years ago, before you said that, Stephanie and Triple H were calling you B plus players.
Mm-hmm.
So it literally just brought that whole made that whole story even better.
It was
And
a
look,
whole full. It was a
I
whole
don't
full
wish I don't wish injuries on nobody, but at the same time, it was a blessing in disguise that Mustafa got injured. As much as I do fuck with Mustafa, I don't think nobody would have got behind him as world champion and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the story and the chase behind it was a chef's kiss. What Xavier and Big E did for him in order for him to get the world title shot at Mania was very perfect. Elimination Chamber was perfect. Reign, yeah, we know the Reign was shit. I I don't between when it comes to him and Seth, both of the title reigns are debatable. Don't get me wrong. 2019 Seth is definitely the worst version of Seth, but at the same time, what Kofi literally had to go through after he won the title, I agree with you, Ant. Like he did his best, for what he had, but at the same time, it's like the stories were shit, and then the ending behind it didn't make it no better. I was on Twitter the other day, and that was the first thing I seen on Twitter, and it hurts every time I see that clip because I'm like, you really lost your title in 8 to 9 seconds on the first SmackDown on Fox. Bro, literally, I don't think nobody thought that match was going to last that short. Everybody thought,
Oh,
oh, it's probably going to be like, good little 10-minute match.
I thought it would have been like the match they had at Beast in the East in 2015 in Japan. I thought it would have been like as long as that. And I thought some interference would have happened where Kofi would have still retained. It would have ended in like a no contest. But then, yeah, 12, what was it, 8 or 12 seconds?
It
was
was
like 8.
I know it was less than a minute. It was disappointing. Like,
But,
Wait. What
seeing
was the
that
Beast in the East pay per view?
in
Did I miss
2015.
that one?
2015.
I never seen that one.
Yeah,
It had that match, and then it had Balor and KO. That's when Balor first won the NXT title.
mhm.
Ah,
But all right, I'm gonna let y'all listen to these matches that Kofi had.
He got the matches. Let's see.
Okay.
We had the whole Kofi and Seth on Raw ended in DQ.
Still cooked. It was solid.
You had Kofi and Bryan on that random episode of Raw. Don't get me wrong, that was a good match.
Mm-hmm.
On SmackDown, one episode you had Kofi versus AJ versus Sami Zayn. Cool.
That cooked. That was an underrated match. And to see Kofi Kingston get that pin on AJ, bro, I was like, what? Oh shit.
Kofi versus KO at Money in the Bank. Which yeah.
Solid. Nothing too crazy, nothing too underwhelming.
the good old 2019 Super Showdown. We had Kofi versus Dolph, which I'm not gonna lie, that mini feud between Dolph and Kofi probably was the worst thing when it came to his reign. It was just dumb.
They tried to make their mid card feud from the early 2010s happen with the world title.
Mm.
And then we had the Stomping Ground pay-per-view, a 20-minute steel cage match between him and Dolph Ziggler. And I hated that steel cage match.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, that ending was kind of cool though, because we thought Dolph was gonna get out that cage, and then
Yeah.
Kofi did the leap of faith over Dolph. I'm
That
not gonna
was-
lie, that was cool.
That's honestly, apart from him losing to Lesnar, is the most memorable moment I have from Kofi reign.
Mhm.
Is him doing that.
Then we got Kofi versus Samoa Joe at Extreme Rules. Then we had Smackville.
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 I remember that.
Mind
They
you,
were in Nashville.
this was a question on a Jeopardy, which is funny.
Oh yeah, I
Was it?
forgot.
Yeah,
Last year, I remember that. I put it on.
Oh,
one
I
of
thought
the
you were going to say the
questions.
one that I
Yeah.
didn't come last in.
SummerSlam, you know, Kofi and Randy, which I thought that feud was going to be better because of what they did in, 2009, but it just and then the whole New Day and FTRK yeah, it just
I
it
won't
was
lie, I wasn't a fan of the DQ finish, or what was it? Was it a DQ or count out
it
finish?
was
at
a double
SummerSlam?
count out.
It was a double count out. Wasn't a fan of that. I mean, it protected both wrestlers, but at the same time, Kofi should have got the win over Orton, especially on a big stage like that.
Exactly, because he won the next pay-per-view. Like it made no sense at
Mhm.
all. And then, yeah, the Staples Center first SmackDown on Fox.
The
Yeah.
first
yeah.
SmackDown I've watched
Not
in
even, not
years.
even 8 seconds, it was 7 seconds.
It was actually 6.
Well,
Yeah.
it was 6.85 seconds, basically
But
7.
I mean, look, I'll definitely say probably Seth had the worst title reign out of the two, but at the same time, I'm not letting him slide. I'm not letting him slide, man.
Yeah.
But it's not on him, man.
It's booking.
Like I
I
said,
did get into a little like argument with somebody in a chat about it because I was like, oh, it was the booking and everything, VKM behind Seth Rollins' horrible 2019, which is true. And then the counter argument was, oh, it was on his own because of the things he was tweeting, saying, which I mean, I do understand. I do understand he did come off as a dick doing that, going at Osprey, going at people on Twitter and shit. Because you're a baby face and you're doing heel shit like that. Like that's basically a heel-esque thing to do. So I kind of understand that he kind of killed his momentum in a way, but at the same time, booking, especially having Seth Rollins face the Fiend this early into his character for the world title, just wasn't it. Like literally that Hell in a Cell match, everything just killed Seth Rollins' momentum and kind of killed the Fiend's momentum too. But yeah, when we're talking about Chase versus Reign for Kofi, like I said, I'm neck and neck with both, but I might have to favor the Chase a little bit more, just a little bit more now. But anybody else got anything to say before we move on to the next one? Any last?
No,
Nothing.
I've got nothing else I really want to say about this reign. It was just an okay reign. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. So I know Lee mentioned earlier the whole thing with Brock losing to somebody after he beat Kofi.
Come on, then. Come on. Yep.
Andrew.
Oh my god! Right. You're right. Okay.
All right. Let's. Okay, Lee. I'll let you lead the charge. Talk about the build up. Talk about the chase,
Man.
and then we'll get into the ring.
So it all started at the Royal Rumble. From eliminating Brock Lesnar in the Rumble and then going on to win it. And then usually people when they win the Rumble, they wait a couple of weeks to decide who they want to face. He immediately chose Lesnar on the Raw after the Rumble. Match was made official and it all happened. But then COVID hit. And the world shut down. And obviously Drew McIntyre had to this title win rode WWE into a brand new era, the pandemic era. This title reign was the face of the pandemic era. People say Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns held it for the last 6 months of the last year, the last part of the pandemic. Drew had it from the first start, the whole thing. Roman Reigns just sort of took over. But the way he won it in under 5 minutes, beating Piss Boy.
I love how that's his name now on the pod. This man Chris said it, and now you're saying it. That's his new name.
All I'm gonna say is Chris. I've been saying that for months about Lesnar. Chris just stole it from me.
Piss Boy is hilarious.
What's good?
You know, and then him looking direct, and this was Vince told the stars during this whole time, you're not allowed to look in the camera. Drew, the first thing he did when he won that title was looked in the camera and thanked everyone, and I felt that. A very emotional win, and the title reign itself was fantastic. You know, from his first defense against Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank to the
good match, great match,
right? To the okay defense against Bobby Lashley. The only bad thing was Drew had to defend his title in a tag team match where the 24/7 title was on the line at the same time.
Wait, was this him and R-Truth versus? Wait,
Yes.
who did they face?
It was Bobby Lashley and MVP.
I forgot R-Truth was in a little feud with the Hurt Business when the Hurt Business started. First began. Oh damn!
So, if R-Truth got pinned, Drew would lose his title to Bobby.
That's egregious work,
Man.
But yeah, you mentioned Seth. You mentioned Seth and Drew at Money in the Bank. That match. What other matches?
I think that was most definitely. That was his best match from his reign. I feel
100%.
like I most definitely, as much as I love Drew, and yes, I do think he carried the pandemic era. He most definitely did. I really feel like that reign was lackluster because of what they gave him. Literally, for some.
But to be fair, WWE, they couldn't really do much with his reign without fans.
Yeah, without fans, but at the same time, though, like you can do so much better.
Yeah, there was a lot of people on that roster still hanging around that he could have had some defenses against.
Like literally his first title match, which made no sense. Big Show just comes out.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. Big Show.
Seth Rollins just got jealous.
Count.
And then I feel bad for Drew because if they would have had if the pandemic wouldn't have happened, oh my goodness, that pop Drew would have got when he once he won that title, because like he won. First of all, I felt like everybody knew what the plan was going to be once he once he got eliminated eliminated Lesnar out the Royal Rumble. I knew, I'm like, he's about to be Lesnar at Mania. Like, and I'm like, fuck it, like finally, because like I fuck with Lesnar, but I was getting tired of his, title reigns on Raw because I felt like they weren't really meaning shit at all. And yeah, the story behind it was good leading up until the pandemic, and then everything just went all over the place. What the fuck, DJ?
Yeah, I'm looking like, yo, the fucking Hulk's on my screen right now.
Bro, my phone keep fucking falling, so fuck this. What y'all gonna say?
But
a little bit.
Yeah, most definitely.
What the fuck is this? What is going on?
Most definitely.
You don't know about the Incredible Hulk?
It's the incredible TJ, bro. Come on
Yeah,
now.
most definitely Seth was his best match from that reign. The Bobby match was actually not too bad. I fucked with that Bobby match. The Ziggler match and at Extreme Rules, it was,
It just showed how much of a bitch Dolph Ziggler was.
It
yeah.
kind of made Ziggler look a little weak, considering the fact like a year before that he was facing Kofi and he was showing his own, like, without any help, like he was doing his own
The
thing.
thing is, they could have done so much more with that story with them being part of like a tag team and shit.
That too. Mm-hmm.
And this nigga had to wrestle Randy Orton at SummerSlam. The ambulance match, which I'm swear I love that ambulance match was so I love that ambulance.
That was a good. I like that too because weren't
Randy
all those
Orton got put in his
legends
place.
involved, like HBK, Christian, Big Show? Because didn't was it Randy attacked them beforehand or afterwards?
he was
Randy
he was
ended
back,
their careers.
Yeah, he was back as the Legend Killer for real.
Mm-hmm.
Which I fucking love because he took out Big Show, he took out Christian,
HBK, Ric Flair.
Oh,
Edge.
Was it? I forgot what it was. What the fuck did Randy do? He had the fucking night
vision goggles.
It was like the
vision
jumpsuit.
goggles.
Yeah, and he attacked
Nigga,
all of
that
them.
shit was fire.
That's what I was wondering. Did he do that before that match or after?
Yeah, he did it
After.
before.
Did it?
Oh.
Or wait, after?
After the ambulance match, the night after. Which set up their Hell in a Cell match.
Oh, it did, yeah.
Which
Oh, yeah.
you. Yo, this is the biggest thing that pissed me off about this reign was why did you have him lose to Randy Orton only for him to win it 3 weeks later?
Exactly. It made no sense. Like
I remember that. That's the one thing where I was like, why are we hot potatoing the world title for just 2 weeks?
That was your fault. That was your fault.
At that point, really, they should have just. I feel like they should have just let him keep the title until the next Mania, and let him. If they're going to let Bobby be champion, let Bobby, beat Drew at Mania.
Exactly.
I hated that decision. I ain't gonna
that
lie.
was so weird because, like, yeah, let's look at it that way real quick. I know we're like kind of getting off topic, but it's okay. We'll talk about it. I like that. So, Drew wins it back literally the Monday before Survivor Series, ends up having the match with Roman, whatever. Holds on to it to Elimination Chamber, has a grueling Elimination Chamber match, and then afterwards gets attacked by Bobby Lashley just for the Miz to cash in. Hold it for like a week just for Bobby to beat Miz and have a match at Mania with Drew. They could have just have Drew drop it to Bobby Lashley at Mania. And I get Miz had the Money in the Bank, but I don't know what they would have done with that, especially with two top guys like Bobby Lashley and Drew at the time being over as fuck. I would have just had a failed cash in, if anything. But back to just like the first reign from Drew when he won at Mania 36 all the way up to Hell in a Cell. If I had to choose between the chase and the reign, I'm probably going to give the reign a slight edge just because he really did hold down the pandemic era. Because for most of the pandemic era, the wrestler that first comes to mind is Drew McIntyre. And he had a fun reign. I'm not going to lie. He did have a fun reign. Granted, the Randy Orton rivalry kind of got repetitive and kind of got boring really quickly. But still, he has some solid, decent banger matches during that reign. Especially with Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler at Extreme Rules, the ambulance match. He cooked. He cooked in the reign. Anybody else got anything to say about the Drew reign, chase, or the actual reign?
Yeah, I give the slight edge to the chase and the sport of pandemic. Like the pandemic stifled the chase heavily because we was like in the middle of his ascension to become a world champion. So the pandemic heavily really stifled that. While during the reign, it being in the pandemic, you can really stick your teeth into what is being told to us and all that because of the lack of the crowd. You can actually like get in depth with storylines. So
and the most
that's
in
how
like
I see it.
there's a fact here that everybody seems to have missed out is this reign actually like this title reign actually almost never could have not happened if Drew didn't make out the UK in time.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was in the UK when he was here in Scotland when those restrictions came in.
Wow.
Filming for BT from WrestleMania. Right, he was up like in the areas where there was like no signal and shit. So he had to like quickly figure out how to get back to America before it shut down.
Which made this shit, it makes that shit even more crazier.
It's a 7-point game now.
Who's winning?
Cleveland.
Yes, but it's 7 points now.
Yeah, they was up.
Are we talking about the worst sport in history?
The worst.
No,
sport
we
is
are not talking about
crazy
fucking
sport.
It's crazy. But yeah,
I just threw one out there.
Chase and Reign, I favor the Reign a little bit more. Chase was really great, especially that big Rumble win. Drew winning the best Rumble, in my opinion, of all time. Royal Rumble 2020.
Oh, you're cooking there. You're cooking the best Royal Rumble match ever.
It legit is probably one of the best Royal Rumbles of all time. The beginning, I was kind of questioning it because Brock Lesnar eliminating all those stars with ease. I'm like, okay, what are they cooking up here? But then once that moment with Drew happened where he eliminated Brock with the Claymore, everything turned to third gear, and we got some of the best things from that Rumble.
Yo, shout out Ricochet for helping.
That too. Shout out Ricochet. But all right, let's move on to the next one. Let's see. Ooh, let's actually go on to some AEW.
Oh man.
Ass.
Whoa.
You said who?
Hangman Adam Page. Ooh. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
By the way, I'm the biggest AEW hater in here, so I'm automatically saying this is the worst reign of all time.
I wouldn't say it's the worst reign of all time because I feel like
And the
there's
fact
been
that-
some worse.
And the fact that he lost it to a Chicago bitch made it all the more worse.
That's crazy. But now, with Hangman's reign right here, so this was that Full Gear 2021 where he defeated Kenny Omega, probably one of the best AEW matches of all time. So the chase to the reign, basically, we all know Full Gear the year previous, Kenny and Hangman had that match. Kenny ends up winning, which leads to him winning the AEW World Championship at Winter's Coming against Jon Moxley. So there's a moment of time where Hangman Page is trying to redeem himself, trying to find himself. So he's going through this trials and tribulations of trying to, get back to the top.
That whole phase with the Dark Order and everything. And then, it came back full circle. And that's when, the whole Elite was back to where it was. And then basically Hangman was like, fuck it. Let's do this tag match. And if we win, I get the title match.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't, then nothing.
Nothing, yep.
Which, oh my goodness. That big title, that big tag match, it meant so much. Even in the beginning, like what they did in the beginning with the whole Dark Order and Hangman, like that entrance was so great. The Elite entrance was great. It was funny as fuck.
Wasn't it them wearing like the basketball jerseys, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, I remember that.
That tag team match was so fun.
It was fun.
And basically Hangman disappeared. If y'all didn't know, Hangman's wife had a kid and everything.
They had a kid, so they wrote him off with losing that match.
And so it was that I think it was that casino ladder match. I forgot what type
it was the casino. I think it was the casino ladder match. It was like when they had the big chip at the the Money in the Bank.
The casino ladder match where it was like just a couple of guys.
Yeah, it was Penta. It was Penta, Pac, Mox,
Lance Archer.
Yeah,
Andrade.
And so we knew he was coming soon. We just didn't know when. And then that pop he got once he came out, and I seen him like, yeah, he's winning this shit.
Yeah,
and
he was on one.
He went crazy in that ladder match, and It was really the story behind. Damn, I feel like it really started in 2019 when the company first started.
Mhm.
It was really that whole story. Like you see you see the Young Bucks and Kenny winning these titles. You don't have shit, bro. Like, can you win the big one? And you fought in the first AEW World Title match against Jericho at All Out, and you didn't win. So it's like, damn, Hangman is going to be considered, just a mediocre somebody that we forget. And so that whole feud between him and Kenny leading up to Full Gear was crazy. And then that match was so good. It was a good write-off for Kenny because Kenny was going to take a break because of the injuries that he was dealing with.
Mhm.
And yeah, the chase was so good. The reign was
Okay. Let's break that down because I'm not gonna lie, he did have some really good matches, but the reign fell flat. It
I
felt
feel like
short.
the start of his reign, was so good.
So
Like
good.
the start of the reign was so good.
So that first
His
match,
first two title reigns was against Danielson at Winter is Coming, and
Oh my
then
God, Halliburton. That was a
Winter
crazy pass, though.
Winter
My
is
fault.
Coming, and then
are you good?
that first Dynamite on TBS. The
Hmm.
Winter is Coming match was so good, and then the next match on Dynamite. Oh my gosh!
It
Like,
was even better.
and mind you, I'm a big Hangman fan, but damn, man, I was rooting for Danielson on both of those matches because I'm like, look, man. And then we went.
I thought it was a little too early, but then I'm like, nah, this is a great way to elevate Hangman Page. If he could get a W against a legend like Brian,
No way.
Then we went to the Texas Death Match against him and Lance Archer, which it was a
underrated.
real good match. Like that match was real fun. And then he started that feud with Adam Cole, which was it was a little bit underwhelming. Like,
Mm,
mind you, these are one of the two best wrestlers in the company, so you thought the feud was going to be good. I guess they were still trying to do that whole like elite thing ish, and it just wasn't going nowhere. And that match at Revolution was definitely underwhelming. Mind you, it was almost a 30-minute match. And then,
wasn't that a Texas Death Match as well too?
yeah, they had that on a Rampage, which is crazy. I ran just Rampage. And then he had a title match against Dante Martin, which I really definitely forgot about that. And then, he lost the title to Punk. And then,
And that
it's
was like the domino effect for everything that happened after. That was like literally the spark.
but
But yeah,
definitely that reign is definitely unforgettable. Besides both of those Daniel matches, I think that reign is definitely unforgettable. So it's again 100% the chase.
yeah, I think the chase is definitely better than the reign because, like I said, the title reign was pretty short, and there's only a few selected good matches out of there. He only had like what I want to say 6 or 7 defenses. But that chase, the whole build up, that pot when he returned, the actual match of Hangman and Kenny Omega at Full Gear 2021. Yeah, I'm gonna say 100% the chase. How's everybody else feeling about that? Yael, Lee, TJ?
Yeah, the chase is what got me, into him as a, wrestler. To be
Mhm.
real with y'all, like Hangman, he was cool or whatnot, but until that chase started happening, that redemption story started happening, I wasn't that big of a fan of Hangman. But now I realize how cool Hangman can actually be as a top guy, as the main focus of the company, and he truly is one of the ones. But look, just like y'all said, the rain was good. The rain was good. It
Yeah,
just
it was good.
it just didn't keep that momentum that the chase had.
Yeah, facts.
It
Exactly.
didn't keep the momentum, and it did hinder him, but not to the point to where we're not still fans of him. So the Reign did his job, but the chase was overall better.
I feel like I said, and it's always been that problem about AEW. The matches be so good, but when it comes to like the stories and everything and the build up to
Yeah,
the build up to title matches, like that's why like nobody really cared about the whole Adam Cole and Hangman feud. Like I really wasn't. I was not messing with it at all. Of course,
Yeah.
you know Danielson. I was gonna fuck with that. It made sense because you know he won that whole tournament team. That tournament thing with
The Eliminator, yeah.
like see, and I feel like, bro, and that's the problem. Like, I feel like AEW needs to do that more. Like,
Mhm.
we keep seeing all these, like, mind you, tomorrow, freaking Tony Storm is fighting in a four-way eliminator match. Like, yo, like, why do we keep doing these eliminator matches? Like, which they don't make no sense because at least 90% of the time we know who's going to win.
yeah.
Exactly.
Which don't get me wrong, the wrestlers in that match is going to be real good. You got, Mina Shirakawa, Sky Blues returning, and then AZM, the person who just beat Mercedes for the New Japan Strong Championship. Like, cool. But do you see these niggas winning against Tony? Hell no.
Hell no. Well, yeah, with Hangman, I'm saying definitely that Chase is better. Just the whole buildup of a baby face for Hangman, and then beating a top Reign, top talent, and Kenny Omega, finally defeating somebody who was his tag team partner, his best friend. Yeah, I'm saying Chase 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go on to the next one. So we did Jeff Hardy, we did Kofi Kingston, we did Drew McIntyre, we did Hangman. Let's get some love to the women real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Bianca Belair, 2021, her first ever world title reign. So let's do a little backstory here. So Bianca Belair debuted on the main roster in 2020. So I think, matter of fact, she debuted at WrestleMania 36, or I think the Raw after WrestleMania 36. I forgot which, but she debuted around WrestleMania 36. She was like siding with the Street Profits, of course. So she had her little stint. She, was doing her own thing, but she didn't start getting that much popular until like late 2020, early 2021, where she started, she declared for the Rumble and everything.
Yo,
And eventually,
my phone legit just died. So
oh, you're
sorry
good.
about that.
No, you're all good.
Your
Best
phone
women's title
nuked
reign
itself
ever.
at the side of an AEW star. That's crazy.
Yeah, almost. I've got one thing to say about this reign. It is the best women's title run of the 2020s so far.
Of course.
Wait,
this is
which
her
one?
second. This is their second run. No, this is her first run.
No, this is the first one. This is the one where she. This is when she first won it back in 2021. I'm just breaking down like the chase right now, and
I was about to say, hell, hold on.
I thought this was the second one. This one was meh.
This because she won the Rumble, which was cool. She eliminated Rhea Ripley, and then she decided to go against Sasha. It was cool seeing Bianca and Sasha tag for a little bit, like do that little team up, which then ends up turning them into rivals.
Yeah, I'm not. It was cool, but I'm like, man, it made sense because they were both baby faces.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like at the same time, like I guess because you don't want to turn, I guess, Sasha back heel that quick because she just became a face again. But at the same time, that whole them tagging together just I wasn't fucking with it.
Yeah, she won the Rumble, then obviously ended up going to Mania at Mania 37. Still a little bit in the pandemic, but this was like the first event back with fans. And yeah, they put on a classic.
What?
The worst
Banks.
WrestleMania
I mean-
of all time.
Yo, yo, they got the White Howard shit in the fucking Shaq chair, bro.
That shit.
That is insane. That's just well, no, they squashed the beef though, didn't they?
Yeah, they squashed the beef.
They squashed the beef.
I
Yo,
believe
what beef is
so, but
this?
still, though.
But yeah, that was probably one of the greatest women's matches of all time. Seeing two African American women main event a WrestleMania, like, and you could tell like the emotions were already running high because the start of the match, like Bianca was shedding tears, like Sasha was on the verge. Yeah. And then they just put on a good ass match. Reign, lackluster, like
Yeah, it lackluster because I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't really tell you a memorable match that she had during the reign.
you didn't have one.
Yeah,
Look, WrestleMania Backlash, you had her and Bailey. Okay, it made sense. Then she beats Bailey in Hell in a Cell. And I mean, around that time, I really wasn't fucking with Bailey for real like that.
Yo, she was doing her job as a heel then.
Yeah, but I mean, 2021.
This was like post like Bailey's like run with Sasha and like the Thunderdome, right? Like when they had the world titles and the tag titles. That was like kind of post that run. Like that run, don't get me wrong, was phenomenal. Like on the women's side of things, Bailey was holding it down.
I ain't gonna lie, I hated Bailey those straps. I fucking hated it.
I loved it.
2020 Bailey was so good. But it really, I can't really say much about 2021 Bailey because she ended up tearing her ACL.
She tore her ACL because they were supposed to have a match of Money in the Bank, and then it got canceled, I believe. Yeah, it got canceled.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, wait. I was just going to say that the two belts Bailey was better than Pandemic Drew in my opinion.
I thought you were just going to start yapping as always there.
I mean,
yep, and it's for this mere reason. Everybody and their mother was hyped. Was hyped during was hyped during Drew's rise and winning the Royal Rumble and stuff like that. Legitimately nobody cared. Even when Braun Strowman was the champion, not a lot of people really cared about the WWE title scene, even if there was a pandemic.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to disagree there. If there wasn't a pandemic, people would have definitely cared about Drew's reign.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, like there's a lot of people that weren't tuning in during the pandemic era or the Thunderdome era.
Yeah,
but the only reason that kept me in watching, the only two people the three people that kept me watching, Drew, Seth, Bailey. Those were the only three. Drew with the WWE title reign, Seth with the whole Messiah thing going on, and then Bailey with the women's division and everything. Those were the only three wrestlers that really kept me hooked on the WWE.
It's like what Michael Cole said.
Yeah, but if I had
one to number one,
if I had to talk about Bianca Belair's reign, the chase was 100% better than the reign in my opinion. Like the chase was just like otherworldly, and her winning the Rumble, her getting hyped up, her having the match against Sasha, like everything was just built for that one moment.
I mean, Bianca literally had two random women's title matches against Carmella on SmackDown.
Yeah, like we were just talking about that. Like we couldn't really remember some of the matches that happened in this reign. The only one that we really remember was the Bailey one at WrestleMania Backlash. That was pretty much the only one, and maybe the Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, and that was back. What during freaking Carmella's little "I'm a stripper" gimmick, and it's just like. And it's just like it made no sense. I would say there was like probably like one rivalry that kind of sort of made sense during her title run, and I think it was against. God, who was it? Who was it against? Was it against? Was it against Io? I think it was against
You tell
Io.
us.
Wait, are you? Wait, what was the? Who was the match against?
I think what was it against Io or was it against Bailey?
It
It
was
had to
Bailey.
be Bailey. Yeah,
Io
Yeah.
Io was still on NXT. She was still doing her thing in NXT.
Yeah, like it was against Bailey, and it was at least significantly somewhat decent. But like I legitimately, if you told me bullet to my brain, name me five matches from Bianca's title reign, I would be dead.
I mean,
Yeah.
she only had what 5 title matches.
Yo,
Yeah,
wait.
because what,
Somebody,
like,
is somebody issuing a challenger for me to name all the title, all the defenses? All right, so I think I could actually do this. Hold on. That.
you could do it. Let's see. Let's put it to the
Alright,
test.
so she had the Hell in a Cell and the normal match against Bailey. She then was meant to face Bailey in an I Quit match at Money in the Bank, but obviously Bailey got hurt, so that means Carmella took her place. And then they did this like weird sort of SmackDown and like a music festival.
I know what you're talking about. They had like
And
that
they-
little match at Rolling Loud. Like they had the ring
Yeah.
at Rolling Loud. Do y'all remember that?
Oh my god!
Oh my god! What the
that was-
fuck?
That was a
I
5
forgot
minute
they
fucking
did that.
match. That was a 5 minute fucking match.
So she had another title defense against Carmella there.
Yeah,
That
the
was
first.
Money in Bank,
I think
and
the
SmackDown
first
against Carmella,
first
and then
match
she
was-
went on to lose it to Becky Lynch at SummerSlam.
the first title match was that the first match back with fans on that SmackDown?
No,
I think
no,
so.
yeah,
I think that was.
SmackDown
I think that was. That was like
Yeah,
the first.
because
I'm about to look it up right now. Hold on.
That
I'm
was
about
like
to
the
look up-
first.
Yeah,
That was like
yeah,
the,
it was because it was in
Yeah, it was the
it
first
in the
concert.
Toyota
The
Center.
first one though.
Yeah, because it was
It was
the
one
it was the first concert back. It was the first concert back for fans in a while. And Rolling Loud, having to be the first concert back with fans, and then they had that little Bianca Belair versus Carmella match, and they kept advertising, "Oh, Bianca Belair is going to be at Rolling Loud." Bianca Belair. Then how is this match going to happen? And then they're like, "Oh no, they had the match at Rolling Loud."
My thing is, bro, at that time, didn't nobody care about Carmella? So I'm like,
Actually, I did.
Ain't nobody cared about her stripper gimmick, bro.
I
I
cared
mean, I
about the gimmick.
did.
I feel, bro. I really feel like Bianca definitely got disrespected in her reign because of how long it lasted. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
And
Yeah,
then the
so
way it ended, mind you.
I don't see the actual like rank or the defenses she had, but I'm seeing right here on Wikipedia she had it for 133 days. And then, like, obviously, what Lee said about the whole SummerSlam thing that she was supposed to defend it against Sasha, but Banks was
Then Carmella came out, and then
Carmella,
Becky came
then
out.
No way,
Becky,
just
yeah.
showing highlights of Chuck. Shaq.
The freaking Becky wins, LOL.
Hey, look at when that happened. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Everybody was pissed. I was pissed myself. But then what happened a couple
talk for
months
yourself.
later?
I was happy.
Wait, a couple months later, when everything came down to WrestleMania 38, she became an even bigger star. Becky Lynch put her over. So I can't even be mad at that. That was a good way to build up Bianca Belair. Help her build herself up again to get a bigger win in front of a lot more fans against a bigger star. Well, no disrespect to Sasha, but yeah, for this specific reign though, for her first title reign, I'm just gonna say it was really lackluster. I got the chase without a doubt. That Rumble win was cool. It was something fresh, something new. So yeah, who's getting the next one here? Let's talk about my guy right here.
Okay. Chase, without a shadow of a doubt, I don't even have to say or think.
Yeah, I don't have to
Yeah.
even get into it.
Yeah,
because
it's
I'm just gonna say
definitely-
right now, there was only one defense that he had. Actually, two defenses. It was the match with Triple H, the Monday Night Raw after he won, and then the one against Canada Extreme Rules. But yeah, the chase was 100%, without a doubt, better.
yeah, I mean, we can only say the chase because we really don't know what could have happened with that whole title reign.
Well, he was supposed to lose to Brock. He was gonna face. He was originally supposed to face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2014. So what happened with Cena was supposed to
Thank
happen.
God that match with Piss Boy got cancelled then.
Yeah, never mind that.
Yeah, because the thing is, people blame the reason his reign wasn't that long. People blame was like, oh well, he got injured during the match and he was still healing from his neck or whatever. I'm like, okay. I mean, this is something we already knew, and this is something he already knew, and he was still perfectly fine to wrestle. You had the decision to put it on. You had the decision to let him keep wrestling. And it's like, oh no, we're just gonna have him drop the title or whatever. I'm like, all right, cool, yeah, that's fine. And it just like it made zero sense and it had zero substance. And then you gave it right the fuck back to John Cena.
It was, bro. It was stupid as fuck because of how long he was holding on to that shit. Like, y'all knew his neck was fucked up. So, like,
I know they were trying to build like a whole storyline about it with Stephanie to build some more like he and make him an even bigger babyface when he came back. But they should have just relinquished it as soon as they knew he was not able to compete for a while because of the neck.
I guess I mean it did build up to that whole Nikki and Stephanie match, which
I guess.
Yeah.
And it's like the reign, granted, yeah, I guess it could have been a lot better, but even so, his first title defense was against fucking Kane. And it's just like at that point I knew, I'm like, all right, this was merely just a moment. And it was a moment, nothing else, nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna last too much longer because Brock was gonna destroy him at.
Yeah. And I mean, like, granted, just like how Deontay said earlier, a lot of things were kind of like a blessing in disguise, because in a way, Brian being injured, him having to relinquish the title, Cena winning it. Without that happening, we wouldn't have gotten like the infamous John Cena versus Brock Lesnar match in the 16 suplexes, and him legitimately shitting on everybody's shitting on everybody's idols, everybody's childhood and shit like that. Basically making John Cena look like this motherfucker ain't shit. And that synonymous moment without Daniel Bryan having to relinquish the titles. Now I will say, this man's chase is one of the greatest chases in all of wrestling history.
It all started at SummerSlam 2013.
And literally, and you know what's so crazy? Looking back at it, because I have been watching highlights on like TikTok and stuff like that. Looking back at it, this legitimately all started because of a chant. A mere chant. A mere emote.
What you say? Wait, hold on. What you say?
Chill. I'm joking.
You said you said fuck Drew McIntyre's title reign? That's crazy.
He's backstage. We don't disrespect the GOAT. We do not disrespect the GOAT.
Bro, mind you, him and Cena put on a banger at
one of my favorite matches of all time. And the thing is, granted, for anybody who knows me personally, for anybody who knows me outside the pod, I have said this multiple times in the group chat, and I've said this on the list. I love Cena. I'm not the biggest fan of his wrestling style, but when I saw that Daniel Bryan versus John Cena match, this man wrestled one of the greatest matches I've ever seen in my life. And that man's and basically Daniel Bryan went into that fucking match and said, oh no, we ain't gonna do no 5 moves to doom. We ain't gonna do no spot after spot. You ain't gonna be calling
because
exactly.
Big ass.
And he had a football. He had a football for an elbow.
He had like a softball.
Yeah,
It was like a
that
softball.
shit was crazy.
That shit was
like
big
a
as
softball.
fuck.
He had a football for an elbow. Daniel Bryan looked at him and was like, no, you ain't doing no 5 moves of doom. You ain't gonna be calling spots. You ain't gonna be you gonna wrestle today, boy. You gonna wrestle today. and God motherfucking damn it, they wrestled. And
That was the
it was
beginning. Like, I'm sorry to cut you off, but that was the beginning of Cena getting out of his comfort zone. That was when he
Mhm.
started getting a little bit more, crazy with it. More than 5 moves of doom. Like, that man
Yes.
started getting deep into his bag.
I feel like, bro. I feel like he
deep
really.
into his bag.
I feel like he really had to though. Like, mind you,
Mhm.
bro, Brian is one of the best technical wrestlers of all time.
The
If
best.
not the best.
You have a great technical wrestler like that. You have to show
Yes.
what the fuck you got, bro.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
nigga, you have a lackluster match. Like, mind you, him and Kurt have had like they were never like bad matches. They were good matches. This right here, in my opinion, to me, I think this is my favorite Cena match.
Mhm.
Personally, this is my
Yeah.
favorite Cena
This is
match.
top
And the
3
thing
for
is,
me. It's
and the
definitely
thing is,
top 3.
I've been told by a lot of people. I've been told by some OGs of the game. I've been told by Axe, by Alex, by a lot of other people. There is a difference between a good match and a great match. And granted, everybody knows Kurt Angle, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, one of the best technical wrestlers of all time. He has had really solid, really good matches with John Cena, where he has shown his technical prowess. I have never seen someone as great as Daniel Bryan make a technical wrestling matchup against someone who granted technical wrestling is not his style, but he had a phenomenal match, and that is the difference between a good match and a great match. A lot of Kurt Angle and John Cena's matches were really, really good. Daniel Bryan versus John Cena SummerSlam 2013 was a great match. And honestly, I'm kind of pissed off because they really could have just put the title on him right then and there, which they did for like about 13 seconds, and then it's just like, and then bro, the minute
But
I
that was
heard that,
perfect.
the minute I heard that, I'm like, I swear to fucking God, if you make this man lose this fucking belt because of Randy Orton, and then when Triple H hit the pedigree on him, bro, the amount of crash out that
Bro,
came within me.
I'm in 5th grade right now. I'm literally about to go into that's the summer of my about the summer of my 5th grade year. I'm about to go to 6th grade.
Summer
I'm
2014.
screaming like, no, don't do this shit. Because like, bro, man, I love Randy, but I'm like, damn, bro, my nigga's just
Bro,
nigga just put on a banger, just win the title. I'm like, yo, don't do
Bro,
it.
but if we put it into perspective, literally him winning the title made him a great babyface. But him losing the title that same night made him an even greater babyface. That literally like sparked one of the greatest storylines of all time.
Yeah.
This is when I started getting back into watching because I was kind of tapped out at this point of watching wrestling. Like I was like
I
in
feel
6th
like,
grade, going
yeah.
to 7th.
I feel like when it comes to the wrestling, I feel like the two like things that really got people back to wrestling was one, definitely the pipe bomb in 2011.
Mhm.
Punk.
I was like
And then
7.
definitely the Yes Movement. Literally oh my
God.
God.
Donovan Mitchell dunked the fucking ball. The fuck was that?
But yeah, that whole turn that Triple H did was
he blocked that.
then, we going back and forth. They called Brian a B+ player. What happened? He ended up winning he ended up beating Orton. What pay-per-view was it?
I remember this. So he ended up beating Orton, another champions. It was Scott Armstrong who counted fast, and then the next night they relinquished it because obviously they didn't want him holding the title. So that's that. Then he started getting into this feud with the Wyatt family. Him and CM Punk were facing the Wyatt family. Then Punk was facing the Shield. That little mini storyline.
Hold on now. That cage match. That cage match versus Bray Wyatt.
Hold on.
That cage match versus Bray Wyatt was hard.
Hold on, we gotta get to that. Let me hold on.
My bad, twin.
So, So yeah, we had a little feud with the Wyatt family, because I feel like at that point they weren't really fully pulling the trigger on Brian just yet. So they had a little feud with Bray Wyatt. Then the whole steel cage match in January of 2014, which literally showed how over he was. The whole crowd just being with him turning on the Wyatt
This
family.
nigga missing fucking Tiffins and shit. God damn, Donovan.
Bro, the minute that man took off that that jumpsuit, bro.
Bro,
The
that
fucking
pop was so crazy.
Man.
Everybody in that arena
He had
is
crowd
saying
control.
yes.
Crowd
Yes.
control. Crazy
Literally-
crowd control.
And you know what's
Hey,
crazy too? You know what's crazy too? As a kid, bro, I actually had that Daniel Bryan figure that had like the jumpsuit, and you take the jumpsuit off.
Mhm.
The
You
Elite.
had like the Daniel Bryan gear
It was
under
the
it. Bro.
Elite. I forgot what series that was, but I know what you're talking about because I had
It
that
was
one
like
too.
it was like Elite Series, I think like 40 something, but it was like
Yeah.
he had like the blue tracksuit, and then it was removable, and you had like the Daniel Bryan gear under it. It's like
This
not a lot
shit
of
was
people
nice.
not a lot of people talk about it because it was a Raw, because like it was just like a normal Raw, but just like the amount of crowd pop that you could hear that shit through the
Bro, it
screen.
brings me back goosebumps because literally, bro, him doing the yes kicks after he took off that shit, bro, the yes kicks and everybody saying yes. I'm like, yo,
Bro,
he
he had crazy crowd control. Like this man had the crowd in the palm of his hands. Like
hits the knee,
Palm of his
gets
finger,
on
bro.
top of the cage and doing yes, and everybody. And I'm like,
Brick.
and I'm gonna say one thing. When it comes to WWE and promo videos, they know what to fucking do.
monster.
Monster is a top three or top five promo video of all time.
Bro,
Wait,
That
are
whole-
we gonna forget? Are we gonna? There's the one thing we're gonna forget. Are we gonna talk about when the crowd literally went to the ring and ringside and they were occupying Raw?
Man.
Like, bro,
Like when do you see that happening? Like
Like, bro.
when have you ever seen that happen during that? Like before then? Never.
like bro, I've said this once before. 2008 to 2014 prime promo package WWE was one of the most peak WWE promo packages of all time.
Facts, bro.
Daniel Bryan, Daniel Bryan's monster, Daniel Bryan monsters promo package, bro. I watched that shit like almost 11 fucking times. Like every time he's over there talking about I'm monster, and then it's just him fighting back against Triple H. I'm like, nigga, bro, like I'm there with you, Daniel. I'm there with you,
bro.
I'm
Mind
like,
you, but Imagine Dragons has some bangers, bro.
Bro,
Fuck
the
yeah.
amount of
2014,
they
were
slept-
cooking with them them
Bro,
songs.
the amount of slept on Imagine Dragons is so fucking ridiculous to me. Like these motherfuckers didn't make radioactive.
Look, bro, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, 2013 and 2013 to 2014 Imagine Dragons, they had the whole world in their hands, bro.
The palm of their hand, bro. No Bray Wyatt. And I'm like, bro, bro, it made zero sense. Like, till this day, the monster promo is like my 1B. My 1A obviously being running up that hill because of just how iconic it was, and me actually getting to be there for the match. But easily without a shadow of a doubt, 1B is the monster promo.
My one is definitely going to be My Way. Y'all already know
My
that.
Way, yeah.
I think two would definitely be running up that hill, and 3 would be Monster. Like,
yes, I would say for me, the 1A is running up that hill. The 1B, the 1B is definitely freaking the Daniel Bryan monster. My second would probably have to be My Way, and then crazy enough, my third one.
God, Indiana just took the lead.
And crazy enough, my third one is not Triple H versus Undertaker. My third one is actually the freaking Shane McMahon versus Undertaker promo.
Ooh.
Very slept on promo,
Ooh.
but very, very good. Very, 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 very good. And that to me, when Shane came back to the company and they were highlighting all of his best moments and him having to fight the Undertaker and stuff like that, his promo package, dog, was really fucking fire. Was really fucking fire. And I would say probably number 4 would probably have to be the Watch in Vain. Like bro, like it's like bro, that shit was so hype. And then and then my fifth one, surprisingly, my fifth one would probably have to be the whatchamacallit. Oh yeah, the freaking WrestleMania 28 promo between between Cena and Rock. Because the thing is, when you see the Triple H versus Undertaker promo, you know it's gonna be heat, and then like the way it just starts off, and it's like it's Undertaker walking down, and it's like and just the way the lyrics came, it's like there's a man going around taking names, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, bro, what? And it's like, and it's like, bro, that it was so good. But like Daniel Bryan, fuck, man, Daniel
Bro,
Bryan.
I'm telling you, bro. Like, if it wasn't for this whole story, if this wasn't for this moment right here, I probably wouldn't even be doing this podcast right now. I would probably
Like,
not
bro,
even be knowing you
like,
because
bro,
this moment is literally led to a bunch of chain of events, y'all. Like,
bro,
that's
this
why he's my goat.
this like,
That's why he's my 1A, bro. Like, this is
like,
legitimately why we're here
yeah,
right now. Like,
yeah. It's like, bro, if it wasn't for like the amount of injuries this guy had, he would have been one of the greatest champions ever in WWE. I mean, he's still one of the greatest of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like his title range could have been immense.
he's
I
still a
think
what
about it.
if,
If
in
you
my
would
opinion. He's still a what
like,
if situation. What if
yeah,
he was
he's
healthy? What if he was fully,
exactly. Like, think
100%.
about it. If you would have had prime Yes Movement Daniel Bryan in the years of like 2015, 2016, 2017 WWE, like from in my opinion, growing up, some of their peak years, I would have loved it. I would have loved Daniel Bryan versus 2015 Cesaro. I would have loved Daniel Bryan versus 2015 Sami Zayn. I would have I would have loved Daniel Bryan versus 2016 Kevin Owens. Daniel Bryan versus 2016 AJ Styles. Daniel Bryan versus 2016 Dolph Ziggler. Those matches could have been amazing. Star-studded. 9, 10, 11, 150 star matches. And it's just like due to just like his health and him not being in the greatest in the greatest shape he could have been. And it's just like, man, it reminds me of like when Kurt Angle went to TNA, and Kurt Angle for the longest time was still dealing with that neck injury, and granted having to take some sort of illicit drugs and just to stay healthy and stuff like that. But just like if this man was in prime form, prime 2003, 2004 form, this man, well, granted he was still a dog in TNA, but this man could have been one of the best, if not the best in TNA WWE. He could have went back to WWE. And that's like, to me, that is literally like Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryan's careers are kind of like, in a way, to me, they intertwine a little bit.
But yeah, obviously Chase is better. I don't
Chase
even think we need to get into the Reign
Yeah.
because the Reign literally only had 2 title defenses. There was only 2 title defenses. So yeah, Chase, like we said, one of the best storylines of all time, one of the best builders of all time for a babyface. Game changer right here. We got a couple more here before we get off. Obviously, we gotta talk about somebody that's similar to Daniel Bryan in many, many ways. Johnny
I
Gargano.
wasn't here for that. No, I wasn't here for that. So
Yael, let's
hey, you gonna let Lee back in, man?
yeah, I'm gonna let him in
There
back
you
now.
Fuck
I
you,
did
Ed.
I did
Fuck
not
you.
want him slandering my goat, so I had to get him out of here.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Hold
Yael,
on,
I'll
man.
let you take the take the lead. Just
Because
tell him everything.
this is this is a personal attack on me, and it's just like it's. God, I fucking love Johnny Gargano back then, bro. Peak NXT days, and it's just him winning the NXT title was one of the best moments in NXT history, and really
Drew's
solidified
NXT title run better.
No, it isn't. But it's like really, he he could have done such great things for NXT, and it's like fuck, man. It's just his reign wasn't great. I'll keep it a bug and be honest. His reign wasn't great. His reign was there for like a cup of coffee, and it's just like
Bro, he
his
literally
pace,
only held it for like a month and a half, and he dropped it at the next pay per view. Like this man was a
like
transitional champion.
like he dropped it to Adam Cole. He dropped it to Adam Cole, and then Adam Cole had his fucking year-long fucking reign, and it's just like, bro,
I'm not gonna lie. It felt it felt disrespectful to Gargano because
Oh, easily.
look. We can say all this about Adam Cole and everything, but this man right here is NXT.
Mm-hmm.
like
He
this
is
man,
NXT.
like
Mr. Takeover, Johnny
They
Takeover.
literally don't call him Johnny Takeover for nothing. Every takeover he's been on, he's put on a banger. Literally,
Royal Rumble
I'm sorry.
2025.
This
Nah, I'm
whole
trolling.
story behind him, like he's always been one of my favorite wrestlers. NXT now because of what he did for NXT. Like him and his tag team title run with Tommaso Ciampa and DIY, which the start of that title reign was so great because them and the Revival had a great match at NXT Takeover Toronto, and then the whole turn with Ciampa at Takeover
one of the
Chicago,
greatest trends of all time.
and then Gargano just went on that little run. Like I don't know, but I'm gonna just chill, and then we get to 2018 takeover what Philly.
I think so. Yeah, take over Philly.
Yeah,
Him and Andrade.
Yep.
That has to. That's in my opinion, that's a top 10, top 15 match of all time for me.
Of all time.
Mind you, I knew that match was going to be good, but I did not expect that match to be that fucking good.
And the thing is,
that match was so good. And
and
mind you, I thought Gargano was winning. I really thought
Real
Gargano was going to win that
real
match.
shit.
I thought so too.
And the thing is, a lot of people tend to forget, bro. This motherfucker's catalog: 2015 Match of the Year contender, 2016 Match of the Year contender, 2017 Match of the Year contender, 2018 Match of the Year contender, 2019 Match of the Year contender, 2020 Match of the Year contender, 2021 Match of the Year contender. This man has consistently, year after year, been in the conversation for Match of the Year, and not only just one match. This man has probably had 4 or 5 matches that were Match of the Year contenders. If it wasn't for a man named Kenneth Omega III, this man would have had Match of the Year 50 times over.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like this man personified for a good couple of years personified what wrestling really was.
This man was a workworkhorse. This man literally was the heart and soul of NXT. Like
Literally,
this man
exactly.
was putting on for everybody.
Bro, he put that company on his back, bro.
Like,
he put that company dead eyes on his back.
If you told me who were the people that made peak NXT,
oh my god,
I would have to say Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, and Adam Cole.
If there's a Mount Rushmore, I'm putting Johnny Gargano, Sami Zayn, Adam Cole, and Finn Balor. That's my Mount Rushmore.
All right, you want to hear my NXT Mount Rushmore?
Here we go.
Drew McIntyre.
No.
Damn.
All right, so obviously we're gonna go with Finn Balor, number 1.
Okay.
Fucking Irish.
Adam Cole, number 2.
All right. Cook.
Gargano number 3.
Cut.
And
And
Drew
then
McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre.
This
I feel
guy.
like Drew. Yeah, I can't say Drew. Drew wasn't in NXT that
Drew,
much.
Drew was there. Drew was there for a hot dog and a handshake in NXT.
Exactly.
Yeah, he
He
just was
literally
there,
just
won a
stopped by.
title.
He
Yeah,
was
just
he
got
was
that.
he was legitimately there. He was legitimately there to see. Oh, okay, well you've came back. Let's see how great you are for like a good how great you are for like a good year. And if you have that and if you made that much star power coming back, we'll bring you back to the main roster. He was there for like a couple of months.
Oh my God,
Got brought back onto the main roster. Became a star. And became a star. These
But-
people, these 5 people that we've already picked off, these men built from the ground up in NXT and made their names synonymous with.
to me, in my opinion, peak NXT is 2018 to 2019. That's peak NXT. They
I
were
would,
putting
I would
bangers.
go. I
Nigga,
would go a bit. I would go a bit more back. 2016 to 2019.
Oh, and we're talking about peak. The peak was 20. The peak was to me was 2021. I'm not gonna lie. That was the peak. Like that's where.
You know what?
Actually,
you should
no.
move yourself in the live.
No. Hold on.
I'm telling you,
Hold on.
2018, 2019 was peak NXT. Literally,
2017.
mind you, this was what, bro. NXT is still on the WWE network. So they're what they only had an hour of fucking time. Literally,
Something
niggas
like
are
that.
just putting 5-10 minute fucking bangers each and every fucking Wednesday, bro. The feuds, Chef's Kiss. Literally, the greatest NXT feud is him and Tommaso. Literally,
Yes.
that shit, bro. Yes,
I moved
that
mountains.
shit started in 2017 in Chicago, but it really started after Gargano lost that TakeOver Philadelphia. Mind you, before I seen the match that I'm gonna bring up a little bit later, probably one of my favorite NXT matches was him and Ciampa at TakeOver New Orleans. That unsanctioned match was so fucking good. And I thought Tommaso Ciampa was gonna win, but how Gargano won that match, so great. And then he lost the next 2 matches, but those next 2 matches were
Still
bangers.
bangers.
They were bangers.
Like I said,
And then
win
it's
or
like-
lose for Johnny Gargano, he was gonna show up no matter what. He was gonna
And
leave
it's
that
like-
ring, like with one of the best matches on the card, or the best
Yeah.
match on the card.
Yeah, and it's just like people don't realize 20. I would say 2017 to 2019. This was the same brand that was outperforming the main roster,
It was.
outbuying the main roster. People WrestleMania weekends for those shows, people were literally there WrestleMania weekends because NXT Takeover was on.
Yeah. Nigga, when it came, bro, 34 and 35, I felt like I was more hyped up for the takeovers than I was
Takeover, bro.
Nigga, on a random episode of NXT, I literally saw what? Ricochet, Adam Cole, and Pete Dunne for
And a
NXT
triple threat for the North American
triple threat for the
title.
North
I
American
remember
title.
that.
Nigga, that match was a banger. What? That
A
fatal
banger.
4-way. Hey, when Tommaso Ciampa got hurt, they needed somebody to face Gargano at TakeOver New York. They had that fatal 4-way. It was what? Black, Cole, Riddle, and Ricochet. Nigga, that match cooked.
You mean
Nigga.
Ricochet?
Hey, we not gonna talk about NXT Ricochet, nigga. NXT Ricochet was
It was
cooking.
way different than what we got these last several years.
Different.
But nah,
Way,
when
way
it comes down to like Johnny Gargano on the chase, like literally just coming up short against Andrade, then having to deal with Ciampa getting in the way. His best friend turned bitter rival, bitter enemy, winning the NXT championship before him, then having to relinquish it because of a neck injury, to then finally getting that big moment in one of the best matches I've ever seen in my life against Adam Cole.
Yeah, that's literally a top 3. That's a top 3 match all time for me. Like
That's not. Yeah, no,
it
that's my
literally
favorite match.
had me on the edge of my seats. Mind you, it was a 2 out of 3 falls match, bro. Most of the time, there's a 2 out of 3 falls match. It's going to be a banger. This right here was probably the best 2 out of 3 falls match I've ever seen. It
I'm-
definitely is.
I'm telling you, nothing could stop 2019 NXT Takeover New York Johnny Gargano. Not the Avengers, not TMNT, not any Marvel DC superhero. Nobody can
bro
stop
said-
Johnny Gargano.
Bro said, not the Avengers, not the X-Men, not the Fantastic Four, not the new fucking Avengers, not the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not the Power Rangers, any version of them. This man, this man was over here. This man was over here fucking up kaijus for breakfast. For breakfast.
What's crazy, mind you, going into this match, I did not know who was going to win.
Same here. It was a 50-50. I was hell-bent. I was like, okay, who's gonna end up winning? Because you got Adam Cole, you got a fire talent Adam Cole right now that's on the rise.
But
and you got
at
Johnny
the same
Gargano.
time,
Are you gonna have him? Are you gonna have Johnny Gargano lose again? So it's
Mind
like,
you,
where are we gonna go?
Because this was around the time. Yeah, this was around the time. This was first off, NXT Takeover New York, fucking amazing. Fucking amazing pay-per-view. First off, and it's like,
anyway, guys, I'm gonna dip now because I gotta be up early.
All right, Chili. But fucking amazing pay-per-view. First off, and I really, it was me and my homie Solomon, freaking watching this, and we were really on the fence. I'm like, bro, it could be Adam Cole, but it really could be Johnny. It really could be Johnny. Like, I think about it, Adam Cole was on the rise. I think Undisputed Era had just been made not that long ago. And the way this man, one of the greatest moments I've ever seen in my entire life. First off, super kick to the front of the head, super kick to the back of the head, hits the last shot to the back of the head, goes for the pin, kick out at 2.99999. Like, this is Fire Pro Wrestling World, and this is like, bro, what are we on? This man's on some sort of illicit drug. If this man kicked out of 2 super kicks and a knee to the back of the fucking head, and I'm like, bro, I'm
gonna read you the matches from this card. The
We're talking
opening
about-
match.
Thomas Bryant hit a 3.
The opening match.
Blackbuster legend Thomas Bryant. Shout out to Thomas Bryant.
Big up Thomas Bryant.
Opening match: War Raiders versus Aleister Black and Ricochet.
Hook. Great opening.
Aleister and Ricochet's, NXT going home show before they go to the main roster.
Amazing.
The fucking War Raiders, they ended up relinquishing the title anyway.
But, that match would make Raw's tag division right now shit their pants.
Facts. Facts. That shit was a fucking banger. Next,
that match
we
is
had
so slept on. Like, I'm gonna go back and watch that because that match.
Bro, NXT tag team division around that time was so fucking good, bro.
Mustache Mountain, War Raiders, UE.
Oni and Larkin was putting on bangers.
Oni Larkin and Danny Burch, bro. What the fuck? Bro, freaking, I think that was around the time. Freaking RK Bro was starting to be made.
Oh my goodness.
Nah, that was before.
That was after that.
Oni and Danny were on the NXT roster for a long time, but that was like
that match.
Mustache Mountain, bro.
Oh my goodness, Mustache Mountain and UE was so good. Oni and Larkin versus UE was so good.
Bro, Prime Authors of Pain, bro.
Until they got demolished on the main roster and fucking.
And then fucking FTR, dog, and they're just like
Pete Dunne and Riddle. They're man. I love their tag. I love their tag team.
I thought I was the only one, bro. I used to get so much shit from people because I used to say really like Broserweights, bro. Everybody was shitting on me. I'm like, bro,
nigga, the Broserweights was fun.
They had good chemistry, bro.
You have an unserious, mind you, you have an unserious nigga in Riddle who's unserious as fuck, and then you have Pete Dunne who's Nigga,
nonchalant.
Prime Pete Dunne is a different beast, bro.
Prime Pete Dunne is a fucking dog.
Man, bro, I miss it, bro. Nigga, I miss his old entrance, bro. Nigga, I miss his old.
Bro. If we had Prime Pete Dunne in the Intercontinental title division right now, you know what? Yeah, I'll say it. I love Dom, but fuck that nigga. Fuck that nigga wholeheartedly. If Prime Pete Dunne was in the Intercontinental title division, give that motherfucker the strap. Give that motherfucker the strap.
Let's
now.
go back to this card real quick. We had that Velveteen Dream and Matt Riddle for the North American Championship match.
Hey, speaking of Velveteen, did y'all see that clip? That video of him talking about he gonna ruin professional wrestling?
What is he, John Cena?
I don't, bro.
He's gonna be exposing the business because he know a lot more than man.
What's that song that we sing every time there's somebody that's washed or whatever? What's it called? Outstanding by the
Outstanding. Damn, bro. What could have been with him, bro? What could have been with him?
Girl, you knocked me out,
bro.
Hey, I'm just saying. If you can bring El Hoto El Patron back, you can bring that nigga back.
That was Dean Falls. I don't think he's back.
What's crazy, bro? This nigga was so over, bro.
So fucking over.
Yo, would I be crazy to say that match he had with Ciampa at War Games 2018 was a top 10 NXT match of all time?
Not at all. Not at all.
That match was fun, bro.
Because I legitimately thought Velveteen Dream was going to be Ciampa at that.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah,
you know what's crazy? After everything that happened, before everything that happened, they were really going to put the NXT title on him.
That was the rumor mill. I think they were leaning towards him to beat Adam Cole.
But then, for him to beat Adam Cole.
Yep, everything happened, and then
I wouldn't have minded because nigga was bro. That nigga was over, bro. His character work was so fucking good,
bro. His in ring work too. People were talking about. Well, it doesn't really matter because in ring work was ass. Nigga, where? Where?
It wasn't too flashy. It wasn't too overwhelming. It was just the perfect amount of wrestling. That man literally was versatile. He was
hold on. Hear this.
Wait, what was
Combined Garland and Mitchell, 26 points, 7 of 29 from the field, 6 turnovers, 0 for 11 from the 3. Nigga, that is nasty work, bro.
Yeah, that's peak work. I'm not even gonna hold.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, moment of silence for the Cleveland Cavaliers because they are the biggest frauds in the NBA since.
I'm not doing that. It's a whole quarter left, man. Not
doing
that yet.
At least the 2015 Atlanta Hawks made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. At least they, they got
look. If we, bro, the thing about that. We would have made the finals if we didn't have to deal with Prime Braun, man. If we wouldn't have had to deal with Prime Braun, I think we would have made the finals.
Prime Cavs Braun whooped y'all ass. Sweet Jesus.
Mind you, we didn't really have a star compared to what Cleveland has now. We didn't really have that star. Yes. We had those all-stars, but they were really like good role players. Like
y'all didn't get Trae Young until afterwards.
Yeah, that was like 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
That was 2018. But the Hawks in 2015.
Who else was on this card? Walter and Pete Dunne for the UK Championship.
That started the greatness of Walter. What we see today. That started the greatness.
Shayna Baszler. In the Fatal 4-Way match, beat Bianca, Io Shirai, and Kairi Sane. That
was a banger. That was underrated. That was really
underrated. I just want to put a side note. I'm not going to lie to you. It looks like Gunther's going back to his Fat Boy era. We might be getting peak Walter back. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he is gaining a little weight. But what else is on that car? Let's get through this car.
All right, it's about to be a It's probably finna be a 4-point game.
And then the last match was definitely Gargano and Cole, and that 2 out of 3 falls. Literally, bro, nigga, I feel like when it came to NXT and their takeovers, for a long period of time, you were rarely seeing misses on that card, bro. Rarely.
There were no misses between 2017 to 2019. There was not a single miss from the NXT card.
You could even go way back. You could go to like 2015. You could go to 2015. There was barely little to no misses on those
There was
cards.
no misses on that card at all. At best, you could probably say, "Oh, well, the women's match wasn't my favorite," but even the women were cooking.
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh! What a block by.
But you could say like the women's match probably wasn't your favorite, but even the women were cooking on that paper.
Ew,
bro. Oh,
don't do that! Don't do that! Don't do that! Don't do that,
bro. I ain't
do
gonna
that.
lie, bro. It's sad because why was the developmental company way better than the main roster for
a good minute?
Like that was sad, bro.
And you know what's a perfect example for that? You know what's a perfect example for how the developmental brand was way better, was way better than the main roster? Shayna fucking Baszler. I don't even have to continue that sentence.
The women's division was good, bro. That women's division was so good, and it had heat, bro. It had heat, man.
I just wanna name off some of the people that were on that women's division. Shayna Baszler, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Kairi Sane, Io, Ember Moon.
Asuka was going crazy.
Bro.
Nikki Cross was good. That's back when Nikki Cross was. I was fucking with Nikki Cross in NXT.
That was back when Nikki Cross was actually looked at as dangerous.
As serious. Not super. What was it? Nikki ASH or whatever it was.
Oh, you talking about the almost a superhero? She's not quite a superhero, but
almost, not fully, almost
a superhero.
But nah, bro, NXT New York, like that card in general, from the tag team match in the opener, Riddle and Dream, Walter and Pete Dunne.
Bruce Brick.
Cooked. But with Johnny Gargano, bro, we obviously got to say the chase was better because it was nearly a year chase for the NXT title, and he finally got his moment. After hardships, he finally got that big moment in a really, really classic match.
Darius Garland 3.
Big match. Amazing match.
So it's up to y'all, man. We got a couple more here. I don't know if y'all want to go through a couple more. Maybe one or two.
I feel like
let's do one more. Let's do one more.
One more. You know what?
One more for the good times. Yeah, I know you mentioned this earlier. I know you mentioned her earlier, so we're gonna talk about her. This one is pretty good. So I'm gonna let. Because I'm liking Yael because Yael's knowing the whole backstory. He knows all the pinpoint matches and everything. So I'm gonna let him take the floor.
Chase, without a shadow of a doubt, the chase of her wanting to not only just become double champion, but just become champion.
Oh my gosh, it's a 1-point game. It's a 1-point game. Cavs admitted a 1-point game.
Become champion in general. And it's just like her entire run at that moment, her beef for Charlotte Flair was probably one of the greatest beefs at that point in time. Plus her beef with Ronda, which was one of the biggest matches you could have done, and yet you made it a triple threat match. You dumped, and so Ronda versus Becky was a big match as well. And then I feel like, I'm not gonna lie to you, Nia Jax had a pivotal point in the elevation of Becky Lynch. if we're being quite honest, we all saw the Survivor Series.
Hold on, because she's the reason why Becky
kind of got a little bit more with that run.
Yeah, and it's just like and it's just like we all saw the Survivor Series run, and just who would have thought a stiff shot to the nose would elevate somebody to the trajectory that Becky Lynch did. Her literally, I'm not gonna lie to you. Nia Jax had one of the most happiest accidents of all time, and Becky breaking her nose was the first time in a very, very long time we've seen an actual woman on TV bleed in any sort of way in capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And her nose was bleeding, saying she still wanted a box, and I'm like, all right, Becky, I was unfamiliar with your game, and so her build up to going into that triple threat matchup. Granted, the match wasn't that great, but still, the build up going into that matchup, everybody and their mothers, and except for probably like the 10 and 25% of people who wanted Charlotte or Ronda to win, which you need to be spoon fed for the rest of your life, and you need to go to a mental institution. But the majority of the people going into that match wanted Becky to win, wanted Becky to go over. Granted, her reign after that was not the greatest. It just wasn't, and it just wasn't good. And
I don't mean to cut you off, but like I know she had both belts. I know she didn't defend them together. I will say this: that
she held both
SmackDown
belts for a
Women's
good minute.
title, that SmackDown Women's title reign was not good whatsoever because she only held it for a little bit of time. But the Raw Women's Championship reign, that was pretty solid. That was really good.
The Raw Women's Championship reign was pretty good, but as of this moment, I'm going to count it as the double championship reign, which she barely held the double championships for like about a cup of coffee. As the Raw Women's Champion, great,
Phenomenal.
Great, good, phenomenal, one of her best, reigns.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I was kind of sad. That she had to relinquish it due to pregnancy. But birth happens. People create families. People create life. So I wasn't really too mad about it.
You want to know what's crazy though? You want to know what's crazy? She wanted to drop the Raw Women's title to Shayna Baszler at WrestleMania 39 or 36, but Vince McMahon said otherwise because in her book,
no
she was
chance.
Yeah, in her book, she wanted that to happen. She was vouching for that to happen because of how popular Shayna was. She just came off of that Elimination Chamber match, eliminating everybody. And then for her to just go to Mania and lose like that, that killed all her momentum. And
I swear
that's
probably one of the worst That's probably one of the worst booking moments of all time.
That would have helped Shayna a whole lot. That legitimately would have helped Shayna reach new heights. Like
that, bro. That was literally the death of Shayna Baszler. Losing.
Yeah, that
like
literally
you didn't have her. You didn't have her win the Rumble when she was the final two. When she was like the final two. You didn't. You had her win the Elimination Chamber. Great, cool. And then you didn't. And then you had her lose. You had her lose to somebody. You had her lose to somebody who was pregnant at the actual moment of that match, and you knew was pregnant and was going to leave, because she was taking a sabbatical because she is pregnant, and yet you said, "Yeah, nah, we're just gonna have you like relinquish the title, put it in a briefcase, give it to Asuka after like Money in the Bank and stuff like that." And so, like, fuck Shayna Baszler,
I mean, it was a heartwarming moment. It was cool, but at the same time, like, that was a perfect opportunity to put somebody over. And, booking, like, the people who were booking this were insane out of their mind for not pulling the trigger on it. Even when the champion herself said, "Hey, let's put her over. Let me drop the title to her."
So, you're telling me. It was like two terrible decisions in one pay-per-view. You had Becky beat Shayna, and then you had Charlotte beat Rhea, and it just like it made me realize. I'm like, yeah, no, it made me realize. Old man doesn't know what the fuck elevating stars actually is, and it shows in full color.
I feel like, bro, I'm not gonna lie. He really shitted on the niggas who were coming up from NXT, bro.
Everybody.
Dead ass.
Bobby Roode,
didn't care.
Shinsuke. Like literally, they had a little bit of momentum when they first came onto the scene, but then they literally dropped the ball with them. Like Shinsuke was fighting for the WWE
You know what's
title,
crazy?
dropped the ball with him. Bobby
know what's
Roode
crazy?
won the U.S. title, lost that to Randy Orton, fell into obscurity, just was a tag team wrestler, now is a producer.
No, but you know what's crazy? Because
What's crazy?
I've heard these rumors before, and I've heard these stories before. And from what has been told, it was the amount of times that Triple H would advertise his NXT talent, and Triple H would vouch his NXT talent to Vince and be like yeah, no, these are
Hold on, that's a basket interference.
it's like
Man,
and it's like
it still went in. So
and it's like and Triple H would be like, yeah, no, these talents are going to be the future of this company, future of this company, et cetera, et cetera. And Vince would just look at him, be like, oh yeah, I see it. And then in the back of his mind, he'd be like, you know what would be real funny though? You know what would be real funny if I just like didn't put them over.
What the fuck, bro?
Like that's literally what his mind was like. He's like, you know what would be real funny if I just like fucked with Triple H and just didn't put his top stars from NXT over. Like, I want you to realize before this man Adam Cole went to AEW, he was supposed to not only go bald, but not even wrestle and be a manager for Keith Lee.
Bearcat clawing his way to Monday Night Raw. Let me stop. Bro, they massacred my boy, bro.
With manager ball headed Adam Pierce looking Adam Cole.
That shit would have been so fucking terrible.
So,
I would have protested.
What are the chances? What are the chances that when he was gonna get called up to the main roster, his NXT contract is already like expired? Like, what are the odds, bro? Like, perfect timing. Like, granted, his start in AEW was kind of slow. It was kind of slow, but now it's picking up. Now we're shifting in the third gear. But it was a good decision. Maybe, hey, in the future, because I was just talking with some of the homies about this. His contract in AEW ends in 2027. I don't know what the decision or what the future may hold.
He stays.
But I could see him going back to WWE.
I think he stays.
Only because he was a Triple H guy. Triple H was very high.
Oh shit! Donovan Mitchell cut the lead down to 2.
I say most definitely yes. He's a Triple H guy. But at the same time, I feel like he would have did so much more in AEW, but injuries has definitely fucked him up.
Yeah, that
more
is
than half
true.
the time here. So
because I say this, if you don't win a world title within these next 2 years, yeah, I see him going back over to WWE.
Well, think about it.
Definitely will be a world champion because if they could build his momentum up again, like how they did at NXT, and they could build him up to the star he was in NXT. Yeah, he's gonna be a world champion. And I would love to see that.
But that's
think about it.
How old is Adam Cole?
He's 35 right now. In 2 years, he'll be 37. Okay. So I think he'll be straight.
Yeah,
and I think he'll win, and I think he'll win the world title in the next 2 years. I mean,
I hope he does. He deserves.
I don't really. The next few champions I probably see is definitely Ospreay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, does look like the plan right now.
Yeah,
I'm hoping low key it's for Ospreay to dethrone Moxley.
It should.
I know I talk a lot of shit about Ospreay, but I do like to troll a lot.
Everybody's saying, yeah, because everybody's saying basically, oh, well, they're just waiting for Darby to get back from Mount Everest, and he's gonna, he's gonna be.
Bro, niggas don't understand. Like, I sent it in the Discord, but my nigga, nobody has came back from trying to climb Mount Everest.
Yeah,
nobody.
Rarely anybody has came back from doing that shit.
Oh,
So
praise
like
God.
niggas die because, bro, the more you get higher up in elevation, like you lose oxygen and all that shit. Like that shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Like that shit is dangerous.
Yes, and the thing is, people are saying, well, he has professionals with him, and he's trained for this, and he has all the top professionals who have done Mount Everest before. I'm like, I want you to realize something, bro. I want you to realize something. The last report we got was him saying he is 21.
Oh my God, Donovan Mitchell is cooking right now.
With him saying he is currently 21,000 feet 21,000 feet up on this climb.
Yeah, that was like a week ago because he did that fucking kickflip.
Yeah. 21,000.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, like a week ago, they said he was already like close to hitting the peak or whatever.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's currently close to hitting with people who climb the Mount Everest. It's called the dead zone. The dead zone, where the next couple of feet up that mountain, you barely, if anything, have any oxygen to breathe. The air is a lot more dense, and you're basically in fucking space. And it's like you're literally outside.
Goodness, that's a nasty lay, Hallie.
Like
my God.
Like you are legitimately outside the Earth's atmosphere. You are legitimately outside the Earth's atmosphere the minute you hit the peak of that mountain. And not a lot of people survive the peak. A lot of people survive the peak of that mountain. That is why it is called the dead zone. And people are saying, well, he's with professionals. I'm like, it is called the dead zone for a reason.
But here's the thing for me, bro, because I know but at the same time, why are we waiting for Darby Allin to get back from the mountain to put the world title on him? Why are we waiting when we have Osprey, Swerve again, even Samoa Joe? I would love to see Samoa Joe hold it again.
No, fucking Ricochet.
Granted, look, he's doing his I know as of recent years he hasn't been really the best of the best, but right now this body of work that he's doing deserves a world championship.
Oh,
Ricochet.
Hell yeah, I'm enjoying Ricochet like a motherfucker, bro. I can't
He's giving me vibes of his PWG, his Prince Puma work. He's giving me vibes of that. He's finding his joy again. He's making us entertained.
He's finding his happiness.
Yeah,
bro.
I was a big fan of Ricochet, bro. One of the biggest fans.
But my thing is, bro, he should have been a heel though, bro. Like they trying to keep him as a baby face, and I feel like also that too. I mean, I think he's being more freely. He's being more free.
Yeah. Because I feel like even like if you've seen his things on Twitter, bro, like Ricochet could play a really great dickhead. If you get what I'm saying. Like this man could play a phenomenal dickhead and do it in a very great way to where it's not only over with the crowd, but it gives people reason to get like pissed off at him. And it's just like yeah, like what he's doing right now with his AEW heel work, he's funny and he's funny as hell. He's a dickhead, but the crowd but the crowd's behind him because he's a phenomenal wrestler. And it's just like this is probably some of Ricochet's best work since Lucha Underground, if we're being honest. And it's just like it's great. And then also not even just Ricochet. We have amazing wrestlers. We have amazing wrestlers like Speedball Mike Bailey who just joined. We have Josh Alexander who just said, "Fuck it, the Proto Star Kyle Fletcher. Yeah, give him a championship." I said what I said, and it's just like. And it's just like, hell, if you really wanted to put the Hurt Business on the map, which they're already over, by the way, which they're already really fucking over, by the way, you could put the world title on.
You at the show, I can't lie.
We heard people, and it's just like, and it's like you could put the world title on Bobby, and it's already rumored that Cedric is coming either this week or next week. Either this week, either this week or next week. You can
No,
have
it's this week. They doing the decision this week. Isn't
yeah,
this week spring
yeah,
spring
yeah,
break?
yeah. They're doing the
Oh yeah. Oh
They're
yeah,
doing-
MJF Hole.
We're
Oh
tuning in. We're tuning
yeah.
in. We're tuning in.
they're doing the decision tomorrow, and a lot of people are speculating since his due time after his release was up that Cedric is coming up and that Cedric's coming out. He's gonna beat the dog shit out of MJF, and I would say it would be the best thing. It would be the best thing. You have Bobby go after the world title, hell, even the international title, even the TNT title, because God knows Adam Cole ain't doing shit right now. But respectfully. But but you can have Cedric and Shelton hold the tag belts, and Bobby go after the world title. There are a lot of options for Tony to put the belt on someone else right now. And I'm sick and tired. Like I get it and I understand it, but like it's getting to a point where, yeah, man, I'm sick and tired of these old niggas. I'm sorry, but it's like I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of the copes. I'm sick and tired of I'm sick and tired of the freaking. We're trying to get this old ass 40, 50-year-old man over, and it's just like the only one I could probably vouch for is Cena because it makes sense and it's his last year. But it's like, bro, who's trying to see a 50-year-old man in Adam Copeland who has done damn near everything in his career go after the world title and not only have an abysmal match but lose at that, and it's just like they could have given it to Swerve. They could have given it to literally anybody. This man could have gave the world title to a broomstick, and I probably would have been more entertained. Because it's like this whole Death Rider shit. It's not it. It's not it. But back to the combo. Becky Lynch.
But yeah, Becky Lynch, man, I'm gonna say so I'm gonna break
Chase
it down
was
like
A1.
this. So we're gonna consider the chase all the way up to the double title reign until she lost one of the titles. The chase was better. But if we're talking about the chase and then leading to the Raw Women's Championship, the Raw Women's
Then
Championship,
the reign was definitely
better because she held that for at the time before Bianca broke the record. She was the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion. She had a banger match with Natalia at SummerSlam. It was a banger match. It was a great submission match. It was a banger match.
Earn Sasha at Hell in a Cell. That match, boy.
Underrated.
When it comes to the Becky Lynch situation at this right now, if we're counting both sides, it's literally a coin flip. It's literally a coin flip.
It is a coin flip, and because man, if y'all weren't there in 2018 up to 2019 for the whole man build up, you missed out because that was like some of the greatest things.
Yeah,
that turned a new leaf for women's wrestling.
Because I didn't think that, bro. I did not think they were going to do anything with Lynch, man. Like, and then next thing you know, they put her
season on the line.
They put her in the world, back in the world title scene with Charlotte, and then that whole thing. I'm like, okay, bet that's a big shot, Donovan. Yes. Oh my fucking gosh!
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm gonna say it. I'm saying it right here, and I'm saying it right now. I'm saying right here and saying right now. It's like, oh, well, she just Becky Hogan. She just Becky this, Becky that. She doesn't put anybody else. Becky Lynch is the greatest female wrestler of all time. There's no debate. Stop dick eating Charlotte Flair because she wants to be like her fucking daddy so much. She was one of the best. She was one of the best coming out of the four horsewomen. Other than maybe you can argue a debate for Mercedes. You can argue a debate for Mercedes. For Mercedes Moné, but Becky is legitimately the greatest women's wrestler out right now and has been for the past 5 to 6 years. Let's stop being let's stop being dumb. Let's stop being an idiot. Becky Lynch was really at her peak, one of the greatest women's wrestlers out there. Let's snip it in the butt. Becky Lynch is the GOAT. There's no one even close to her level.
This
And
nigga missed a fucking free throw, bro.
Man,
like right now,
You think he
like
missed?
right,
Wait, my bad, Yael. But you think it was bad that he missed the first one? Look at the.
golly,
He missed all three.
he
no
missed all
way.
three.
I'm
He
on
missed
this
all
fucking
three.
shit, I think. Yeah. Ooh.
Nigga missed 2?
Oh my goodness.
Bro, he missed all three. He missed fucking all three.
He missed all
Oh, this
three.
is nasty, Donovan. Oh, nah. No. Hey, crowd. Y'all supposed to shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
Not you, Yael, the crowd.
Oh, my bad.
This nigga
My
missed
bad.
all
My
3
bad,
free
Yael, for
throws.
cutting you
Oh,
off.
No. You're good, bro. You're good, bro. You're good, bro. This game of the century right now. But
Bro,
but like I said,
what you said was perfect, bro. Like
Mhm.
Becky, like she literally went from
Oh my
being
God.
like, at the bottom of the car, not doing anything, jobbing out to Natalia, just being on the weird WWE.com videos and shit, to being on the top of the world. That heel turn and now punch by Nia Jax literally
3-point
helped
game.
her career.
yeah. And
What
literally,
should have been the tie game,
I
mind
want to
you.
say this. I want to say this. And Josiah, I know you watching this. I know you hear me, boy. And so I'm literally gonna say this. What Mercedes Moné is doing right now, Becky did it 5 to 6 years prior to that. Granted, Mercedes Moné's run is one of the greatest runs right now. Out right now. Granted, is she a bit overrated? In my opinion, yeah. In my opinion, yes. But I'm not gonna deny. I'm not gonna deny greatness when I see it. But
Andrew
but
Nemhard.
but what she is doing right now is the exact same thing Becky Lynch did. She's just doing it in a different company and with a lot more companies, and with a lot more companies and a lot more and a lot more people backing her. But Becky Lynch is legitimately a pioneer of what we have going on in women's wrestling right now. And I'm gonna just keep it a buck like that. You can the reason this is such a coin flip just shows how great and how amazing Becky Lynch actually is. But you know, that's all I got.
Perfect, bro. Capped everything off perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, Chase and Rain, I love it. Love it.
Damn, Cleveland.
Cleveland is over for y'all, man. Cleveland, y'all frauds. You may have gotten lucky. You may have gotten lucky sweeping us because we're dumb. We're dumbheaded. We wanted to go to the playoffs just to get playoff experience for Jaime Jaquez Jr. and just another playoff appearance, just another feather in the cap.
Hey, not too much on Jaime. Not too much on Jaime.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying, like,
he was barely getting minutes.
He was barely getting minutes. That's the thing. See, Deontay gets what I'm trying to say. They wanted to get playoff experience for all the young guys, but then we ended up getting swept.
Bro, I'm sorry. Like
I said, next season.
I'm sorry. That junk is dumb. That junk is dumb on how they handling Jaquez. Like was going crazy all last season.
Like I'm not gonna lie.
It's just.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. Next season, Jaime is more than likely going to be a starter. And if Jaime pops off, we're gonna see a whole different perspective coming into next season. I'm just saying. But you know, I get your point, Ant. You being a Miami merchant, you have a lot more eyes on what's going on right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Cleveland Cavaliers season is officially over.
Damn, Evan, bro, what's with y'all missing free throws, bro?
They booking
nigga, bro. The Cavs for this quarter are shooting 50% from the line this quarter, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's game.
Evan Turner.
That's game. Y'all might as well start fucking leaving. That's game.
So TJ,
damn, Tyrese asshole.
Yep, they booking.
He even back to the fans.
So you
Yeah.
see why Kenny Atkinson's Coach of the Year was fraudulent, and it should have been
Yeah,
to JB.
you stole that shit from us. You stole that shit from you stole that shit from JB Bickerstaff, you bitch ass nigga. Oh, big ass 64 winning team. We gave a fucking next team way more hard competition than you did the fucking first. As the fucking first team. Fuck that. How y'all gonna take our fucking awards from us, man? What the fuck? And our 6 men Malik Beasley winning so stupid. So fucking stupid. What are y'all talking about, dog? Detroit versus everybody has never been a false statement, bro.
Oh my god.
No,
Yeah,
bro.
when I
When I tell you that, like, how does a freaking team that went from like a couple more wins
Triples their win total. The first team in NBA history to ever triple their win total. And our coach doesn't get coach of the fucking year. Are you out of your fucking mind? For a weak ass 4-win team, we knew it was gonna get bounced in the second fucking round. Fuck out of here.
All right, we're ending it off here. So Chase and Rain, this was fun. We'll probably eventually do another one of these because there's still so many Chase versus Rain conversations we can have. We'll do it down the line.
They put the accomplishments up. Finished first seed, coach of the year, defensive player of the year, top 5 regular season scorer in Donovan Mitchell, highest scoring team in the regular season, and y'all only won 1 game in the second round. Shameful.
All right, y'all. I'm ending it off here. But before I go, a couple of announcements. So, as you saw on Saturday, we are bringing back the watch-along. So, pay-per-view, Saturday night main events, any type of a special event that's going to be on the weekend, we're bringing it back.
We will be live for Saturday night's main events next week.
And Money in the Bank and future pay-per-views. It's summertime. We're going to get these streams there.
Hey, we got to talk about this real quick because what the fuck is WWE got going on, bro? You know, niggas are doing Night of Champions at the end of June. What the fuck, bro?
Bro, they fucked up the schedule. They had Mania way too late, so now all the pay-per-views are like this. Because look, we have Backlash. Then in a couple weeks, we have Saturday Night Main Event is just like a regular thing. Money in the Bank's in June. Then we have Night of Champions in July and late June. And then we have Evolution potentially in the middle of July. And then after that, we have SummerSlam in August. So all these pay-per-views are like literally 2, 3, 4 weeks within each other.
Hey, speaking of that, we still got Worlds Collide too.
Yep, more wrestling for me.
Yep, Worlds Collide. Right.
Yep.
Same
That's crazy. I mean, yeah, more wrestling, but damn, bro.
Also, I'm not gonna lie to you. If El Hoto is on that show, I swear to God, I'm not watching.
He's not going to be on that show. He's not going to be on that show. I guarantee you.
Don't even start, Deontay. Don't even start because I know I troll a lot with this nigga, but like in all seriousness, he better lose it to Vikingo. He better lose it to Vikingo at like some AAA show.
Get ready for an El Patron masterclass, buddy.
But real shit before. Hold on. Yo, hold on. Because I really do want to end the show here because we got the Thunder Nuggets game coming up, and I really want to watch that. So I just want to
Discord with it.
Yeah, we're gonna be in Discord. Sure. But before we go, I just want to make these couple of announcements.
I'm getting on these goddamn sticks, man.
I'm
already on the sticks. What you talking about?
I'm bringing back the watch parties. So any pay-per-view for the summer, we're gonna be on it. We're gonna be doing the watch-alongs, all for you guys. And then at the end of the month, by May 31st, I'm announcing the people that are going to be participating in the Jeopardy J.
Sure.
So stay tuned for that. But without further ado, hope y'all enjoy the stream. Until next Tuesday, TJ.
Yeah, I swear. When I drop, because it's Antstroworld, fussy. Fuck wrong.